18 years, Jim Kale has worked in telecommunications in rural Pennsylvania. Now CEO of a local carrier, he knows this business from inside out.
A lot of what you do out here, it's based on relationships and trust. So if you come in here as somebody outside, even from the city, let alone China, if you're coming into China, into rural America, it's hard to break through.
So when Kale was first approached by Huawei in 2013, he was reluctant. Besides quality and reliability concerns, Kale hadn't even heard much about the company. But the price they offered was unbeatable, 1/3 of his competitors, which would save Kale hundreds of thousands of dollars. But Kale was still a bit uncomfortable doing business with a Chinese company.
At the time, there were some questions or concerns about security. It's what we started hearing as we looked into it. But based on what we checked out, there was no evidence that there was any security threat or any wrongdoing, and that's why we made a decision.
How many users do you serve in total with Huawei equipment?
Currently, we have about 1,000, 1,100 customers that have Huawei equipment in their homes.
Okay. And what do they use your service for? For TV, internet? What is it for?
It's used for both TV and internet.
The hardwire started going in 2014. Kale has been satisfied with Huawei's quality and service, but the concerns over security issues have never stopped. As part of a widespread crackdown on China, President Trump sent rip and replace into law and banned purchase with government subsidies from blacklisted Chinese manufacturers like Huawei. Huawei has been denying any wrongdoing and says the accusation lacks evidence. Security experts believe that it's necessary to be extra cautious on companies running under China's political system.
It's very hard to find evidence. That's the problem with subtle sabotage, especially in software. That in the end, when you have so many bugs in code, how do you know which are bugs and which are, say, bug doors, sabotage disguised as a bug?
At the request of the Federal Communications Commission, the FCC, Kale submitted a report this past May detailing the estimated scale and cost of replacing Huawei equipment. It'll take a year and $600,000 and delay fiber deployment for 2,000 households. But Kale says, for the sake of national security, he will keep a firm hand.
We wouldn't jeopardize our network, the security of our network, or, certainly from a national security standpoint, I'm certainly not going to jeopardize that either just to make a buck.
To ease the sting, the federal government has approved $1 billion to reimburse the program. The FCC estimates the cost to be well over $2 billion and is seeking more support from the Congress. Rural carriers expect answers sooner than later. Huawei has ceased technical support and part supplies to Kale's company, which means he's struggling with maintenance, let alone expansion. Kale says he would never have envisioned all the frustration. The Huawei deal may be a bargain, but he's learned that bargain has a cost. He will be hard-pressed to work with another Chinese company in the future.
We certainly don't want to be in a situation where we put equipment, deploy equipment, spend all this time, money, and effort, and then have to take it out. That's my concern.
Kelly Yu for VOA News, South Canaan, Pennsylvania.